Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving headfirst into another episode of Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 4, titled Eldest. You know, the show that feels like a distant cousin of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings? So we opened with Elrond and Galadriel getting ready for their epic journey to Eregion. But wait, what's this? We need an archer and 2 swordsmen. Translation? We're bringing a few red shirt elves, because no one's surviving this trip unscathed. The drama begins. Just like that, we're off. Elves sprinting through forests, racing across hillsides, with those familiar sweeping shots. I'm getting major Lord of the Rings deja vu here. Anyone else? But don't get too comfortable, because we're map transitioning. Naturally. From London to the broken bridge that leads to Eregion. Fast travel, anyone? With the stage set and our red shirts primed for danger, you can already feel the tension building. Nothing says epic fantasy like a good old trek across Middle-earth. Alright, it's time to pick up the Harefoot and Stranger storyline we neglected last time. Not Gandalf is back on his mission to find Nori and Poppy, who got swept away Twister style, except no Glen Powell this time. So, what does our stranger find? A goat. Yep, a goat. Leading him up the hillside until a surprise, he stumbles across Tom Bombadil. That's right, folks, we finally went there, but in true Eldest fashion, things go sideways as not Gandalf loses his map, chases it into a tree, and, of course, ends up getting eaten by said tree. Naturally. Well, looks like things are heating up for our mysterious wizard. And no, we still don't know if he's actually Gandalf. But hey, at least he's not completely tree food yet. Now, back to Elrond and Galadriel, who are having the worst trip ever. Galadriel is totally against going south because of, visions from the ring. But Elrond pulls rank and says, "We're going the quick way." Bad move, buddy. First red shirt casualty happens the moment they reach the cave that Galadriel had dreamed about. And then, it's like we're in The Mummy or Night of the Living Dead, but with elves. They're surrounded by creatures that look fresh out of horror movies, and to make matters worse, none of their weapons are working. Maybe a quick stop to the nearest magical sword shop would have helped out. Things are looking grim for our elf team. Pro tip, next time listen to Galadriel. Her visions are on point, even if the sword situation isn't. Meanwhile, Isildur and Aronadir are out in the woods searching for Theo. They come across abandoned woodsmen's weapons, and what's this? A gruesome sight. Aronadir knows right away that this isn't the work of any near mortal man. Estrid wants the group to head north, but Aronadir confronts Estrid about her mysterious wound and ties her to Adar. Turns out, she got a lot of explaining to do, Lucy, and before we get all cozy with details, Theo is alive, locked away at the top of a tree. Wonder where this is heading. And just like that, we're sinking in quicksand mud. It's up to Estrid to save the day. But she fails. Not to worry, we know Isildur isn't going out this way. And just like that, Aronadir men in blacks their way out of the beast. Who wants dinner? Time to switch back to the Harefoots, and guess what? It's story time. We get a heartwarming tale about a dreamer who imagines a land that sounds suspiciously like the Shire. If this were any more on the nose, I'd be worried we were actually in the Shire. But as always, the moment things start to get all cozy, devils show up. Nothing ruins story time faster than masked bad guys smacking you down. Looks like things are going to get intense for our little Harefoot crew, and honestly, I'm not sure that they or we are ready for this. Back with the elves, it's time to bury the dead. Galadriel takes the opportunity to try to convince Elrond. yet again, that the ring is more than just a mystical trinket. He insists it's a magical GPS. Elrond's not having any of it. Galadriel's haunted by visions of Morgoth's crown, pain, and suffering, and she makes Elrond promise that the top of his to-do list is Sauron's defeat. But before we can get too deep into visions and prophecies, we're interrupted by the sounds of drums. Uh-oh. Just as things were getting all introspective, we're thrown back into the action. Those drums aren't a good sign, and it looks like the real fight is about to begin. Meanwhile, Isildur finally made a decision. He's freeing Estrid. But it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Estrid pulls a sword on him immediately. Trust issues. Before we can go too far into their little spat, Tree Ents show up to conveniently nudge Aronadir towards confronting Adar. It's a brief moment of CGI wonder, though something about it still feels off, doesn't it? Oh well, at least it's pushing the plot forward. So with the Ents' gentle shove, we're inching closer to a showdown with Adar. And now that Theo's safe, it looks like the pieces are falling into place. Back to the big action. Orcs are on the move, marching towards Eregion. We're gearing up to lose another redshirt elf, but wait! The power of the ring restores him, just in time for the orcs to realize something's up. Galadriel, being the heroic elf that she is, stays back to hold off the horde. Well, not quite. She gives Elrond and the others the ring, and they head off to Lindon. Just when you think she's going to make it, Adar swoops in and captures her. So close, yet so far. The stakes just went through the roof. With Galadriel captured, the tensions are at an all-time high. I guess we'll have to see how this rescue mission unfolds next time. So, overall thoughts. We're still juggling too many storylines. Seriously, this show was written for hyperactive squirrel. They could have trimmed some of this after season 1 and focused on the main plot. But hey, it's still a wild ride. It was cool to finally see Tom Bombadil in the flesh, and I'm not gonna lie, those Tree Ents, they could have used a little more polish before hitting the tiny screen. Honestly, if this wasn't Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power, it'd make for some pretty entertaining TV. Alright folks, if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button, click the bell for notifications, and subscribe. Leave a comment below on how you think Galadriel's getting out of this mess, and what's up with our not Gandalf? Will he choose friendship or power? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next one.